Final Fantasy II later came out, but it wasn't released here on the NES. What we got, actually Final Fantasy II 3. Later, as I got a bit older, I picked up a Super Nintendo. And then this game came out, Final Fantasy II. What a good game this was. I can remember the graphic improvement was retarded. It was on the Super NES, 16-bit. I remember fighting over the Genesis and graphics, but this game, this one's the one that blew my mind. It was a little bit different than the first one. The black backgrounds were changed in the turn-based action. It was a great game. I can remember the intro music. After Final Fantasy, we got a new system, the Super Nintendo. And one of the games I do remember buying on that was Final Fantasy II. Besides for the graphic increase, after Final Fantasy, we got a new Nintendo console. It was the Super Nintendo. After Final Fantasy, we got a new Nintendo console. It was the Super Nintendo. And I remember a game that came out on it. The first time I put this in, what I can remember was when I hit start, the music that was playing. I'll play it, have a listen. The game blew my mind graphically. It was still turn-based. I really enjoyed it. Again, you could sit down and eat your supper and do whatever you want. Really not focus on it so much. It wasn't turn-based. After Final Fantasy, a new RPG. After Final Fantasy was released, a new Nintendo console came out. Not long after Final Fantasy was released, a new Nintendo console came out, a 16-bit one. I know a lot of you remember the war between Sega and Super Nintendo. That's not important. What is important is this game came out. And I can remember turning it on when I was a kid. And I mean, the music blew my mind. When you pressed start and went on, you heard the battle theme going in on the airships. The graphics and gameplay were just upscaled, something retarded. It had the save features and stuff. Alright, go again. Not long after Final Fantasy was released on Nintendo, a new console came out, the Super Nintendo. It was 16-bit. Sound was better, graphics were better, everything was better. There was actually a little competition between Sega Genesis, or as Sega Mega Drive as they called it. Anywho, what's important is that this game did come out. And I can remember when I was a kid turning on the battle music, actually, when you press start and started the game, and the 5 or 6 airships that were flying. I can remember that as plain as day, and the music was burned into my skull, into my brain. Not long after Final Fantasy was released on Nintendo. Not long after Final Fantasy was released on Nintendo Entertainment System, a new console was launched. It was called the Super Nintendo, boasting 16-bit, better sound, better everything, and actually another console. Not long after Final Fantasy was released. Why can't I talk? I don't know. Not long after Final Fantasy was released on Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo came out. What I remember the most about it is not long after Final Fantasy was released on Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo was released. It was boasting better graphics, better sound, better overall, everything. One of the things that came out on the Super Nintendo was Final Fantasy II. What I remember the most about it, and I was probably around 12 or 13 now. What I remember the most about it was the battle theme coming in as soon as you press start. It took you right into the action. You were Cecil. Graphics were twice as good, if not 3 times as good. The story was better. It was a more in-depth game. I mean, what do you expect? Consoles get better as they go along. But yeah, this game really, really, really burned into my brain. And here's some gameplay of it here now.